I'm very fair, but I've sent people to prison in wheelchairs before.
Take care of her father who is currently sick.
All right.
Sir?
All right, so my question is, are you taking care of
No,
him?
ma'am.
That was a misstatement on my part, Judge. I guess I mean to spend time with him while she can.
All right. So, so why are you playing games with me?
From the disability, and me, I never lied about being on disability. And when I worked, I said, I don't remember how long I was on disability. I don't remember the date. I know when I worked at that, at the motel, I was not on disability.
All right, Ms. Sexton, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor.
All right, so we have some issues.
Yes, ma'am.
So why is it that you continue, because you're on probation for DWI third, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you continue to use alcohol, that's a problem, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so how are you addressing those issues?
I'm go to Wisconsin and through AA just for one. I do 5 steps online, and I do my grief counseling also.
All right, could everyone please make sure you whisper? So where are you getting this alcohol from? Is it in the home?
No, ma'am, I left the home. I am fleeing domestic violence.
Well, no, here's the question though. Where are you getting? It says you were staying with your daughter. That's the last report I have. So where are you living?
Right now, I'm just living with a friend. I've been in 5 different places since January 6th.
Why?
On December 4th, when I came home July 14th, on July 20th, they called me that they airlifted my son to the hospital. And he passed away 9 days later.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So I did use in August of last year. And I haven't used since.
No, okay, so here's the thing. You can't be moving from place to place to place to place and not informing probation where you're living. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Probation knows that I'm in a domestic violence situation. I just got a protective order and I brought all the paperwork so you can see.
all right, so here's the thing, and this is what I tell everyone about relationships. You really shouldn't be getting into any relationship until you've got yourself together. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying, I don't believe that domestic violence is your fault, but you got to concentrate on you and not concentrate on others and other relationships, because until you
Yes,
get
ma'am.
yourself together and find out who you are as a clean and sober person, you're not going to find a good relationship. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So where are you staying now?
That was my relationship for 33 years.
Okay, where are you staying now?
Off of Zazamora with Jennifer Gutierrez.
All right, so this is what I don't understand. Why were you staying with the friend if you've been in this relationship for 33 years?
Because when I buried my son in July, the mental abuse with me being sober, you sending me to state key. With me being sober, it showed me that I was in a mental abusive relationship. I went to my daughter's and stayed because after the funeral, we lost her father within 3 weeks of losing my son. So I went and stayed with her to get away from the mental abuse and to try and figure out what I was gonna do. Because upon my arriving at home, they stole $8,000 out of my account, which I have the proof of, out of my account. So I didn't have the money to flee or to escape.
But here's something, what is your plan? Because I understand all of these issues that you're telling me,
Yes, ma'am.
but
So I have,
based upon my experience, is that people who have drug and alcohol addictions, they have a lot of things to say. It's complicated, confusing, but it's not a direct point from A to B. So what are you doing? Because you're looking at going to prison if you don't get your life together. You understand?
yes, ma'am.
So what exactly are you doing to get your life together and not use alcohol?
Legal aid has helped me to do the protective order. They're helping me with housing. And
But that's not addressing the alcohol issue. Here's the thing, I understand that you have outside things going on in your life. And I think it's great that legal aid is helping you. I think it's great that you're getting out of this relationship. But this is a criminal court. You're on probation for DWI third and you continue to drink alcohol. And you have the leg injury. And even with the leg injury and being in a wheelchair, you're continuing to drink alcohol. So my concern is, one, when you're on probation with the court for DWI third, part of my duties is to see what I can do to protect the community. And that means protecting them from having somebody who's still using alcohol. So let's get to the point of what are you doing to address your continued use of alcohol?
I do a lot of groups with Cicada, with Just for One and Nooners. I have my sponsor. I did use in August, thinking, burying my son, brought up my mother. And when I woke up, I realized that I messed up all my sobriety.
All right, so here's the thing, we're not doing any more excuses about your limited mobility as to why you can't do testing. So there's not to be any more mistesting from her. If there's another testing from you, what's going to end up happening, whether you have limited mobility or not, a warrant is going to be issued for your arrest because a motion to revoke is going to be filed and I'm going to sign it.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you will be at the Bexar County Jail with limited mobility.
I'm sorry.
No, go
I don't
ahead.
mean to cut you off. I was bedridden and I wasn't able to get out of bed. But as soon as I could, I went to go see my probation officer and I'm doing my UAs at the clinic now. At the mental health clinic. And I've already done one of last month.
So
I wasn't trying to miss them.
No, I understand what you're saying, but it amazes me that people with limited mobility, you can't do your UA testing, but you can find time to drink alcohol. So that's not going to happen anymore. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I understand about your domestic violence situation, and I appreciate that, and I internalize that and hear that. And I'm glad that you are working towards getting into an independent relationship with yourself. But you have to make sure that you do what's required of you for probation. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself at the Bexar County Jail.
Yes,
and I do understand that people have issues that are going on in their lives. I respect that. I internalize what's being said. But at the end of the day, you're on probation and you must do what's required of you on probation. And let me look here. Yes, if you violate your probation, you're looking at potentially 5 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And people will tell you that I'm very fair, but I've sent people to prison in wheelchairs before. And it's just that you'll take your wheelchair to prison with you and they'll provide you with your ability to move around at the prison. But I can't have you on probation for DWI third and you're not taking your test and you're continually to test positive. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else that you need from the court in order to hopefully be successful on this probation?
I was going to see if the court could waive my fees. I've been on my handheld monitor. I violated in August and I called Miss O'Neill as soon as it happened to let her know. And I asked her for help. So they sent me to the mental center. I haven't violated since. I haven't tested dirty. Due to the wreck, I couldn't UA from January till last month. But my financial struggles, I can't afford to pay. I begged, they're charging me from the time that I was locked up in safety on my Smart Start. And I'm having to pay $200 a month. And it's just hard for me to do it. And I begged them to have it, if they could do my regular fees for $135.
All right, Ms.
For
Sexton, you're
July.
wiping your eyes, but there are no tears there. here's the thing, what's gonna end up happening is, we can see if she can be placed on indigent status as far as the device, or either deferred payments on the device. Just see if they're able to do that.
They can do deferred payments.
All right, so problem solved, deferred payments.
Okay, and my fees, I still have fees from the time that I was locked up in safety.
No, you need to pay your court fees. Here's the thing, I'll waive court fees for people when they've actually been successful in their probation,
I admit that I would.
okay? All right, so once you've shown me that you can be successful on it, then the court will consider those other options, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so no more violations, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. Probation's gonna go over new conditions with you.
Okay.
On behalf of your client?
We would ask for the court to follow the agreement. She is willing to do the probation. She is not currently employed, but she's seeking employment. She does have call center experience. She's hoping to get another work from home job at a call center and to help take care of her father, who is currently sick.
All right. So I have a question for you. You say you're taking care of your father, is that correct?
Not really. He's actually has cancer, so he's dying of cancer already.
I'm sorry, what?
He's dying of cancer. He has stage 4 liver cancer.
All right, so my question is, are you taking care of
No,
him?
ma'am.
That was a misstatement on my part, Judge. I guess I mean to spend time with him while she can.
All right. So here's the other question. When's the last time you had employment?
Last year at Speedy's Exchange. With Speedy Exchange, yes.
Doing what?
Call center, telephone representative.
All right, why do you continue to steal?
Because I haven't been able to get a job due to my
No.
felonies, my history. But I'm still seeking for employment, ma'am.
No, this is not the first time you're stealing. I'm trying to figure out your go-to is stealing. What if everybody who didn't have a job decided to steal? So you have prior theft cases, and they were all state jail felonies. So why do you continue to steal? And according to this, you've been stealing since 2014, and you just want to stop stealing. So you're stealing and you're using drugs. Why is this?
Well, the past, yes, my last ones, yes, ma'am. I was an addict. I'm no longer using. I've been sober for quite a couple of years already. I did have a fallback to say, that one time with this recent case that I have. But I haven't picked up a charge since 2013 for theft. I've been,
No,
I've been-
not since 2013, because you have this and this is from 2023.
right, that was the most recent one, yes, ma'am.
So
But
why do you
prior-
keep stealing? It's still not answering my question. I don't understand.
I was going through some personal issues at the moment with my kids,
With what?
with my kids being taken away.
Okay,
So I went to what I knew best.
but your children, were they taken away because you were using drugs?
No, ma'am, for allegations.
What allegations?
Of using drugs and then like using drugs basically.
All right, for using drugs. So when were they taken away from you? And who are they staying with?
They're they've been adopted.
All right, so your rights were terminated. So here's my question. And you know yourself better than I know you, better than your attorney knows you. Do you really think you're going to do well at this probation? Because you had a choice to do what you needed to do and have custody of your children, and you chose to commit thefts and continue to use.
Yes, ma'am, because I didn't have to get my children back, but
I'm sorry, what?
yes, I do. I feel like the probation was me right. I will do my complete probation. I've completed probation before successfully. Again, I had a fall, I had a slip, you know. I'm not trying to go back to that lifestyle. I'm just trying to do right, but times are hard.
And if you're drug tested today, and you will be, what is the results going to be? Tell the truth.
I'll be positive for marijuana.
And what else?
Marijuana.
So you're telling me when you drug tested today, you're only gonna be positive for marijuana? So if I send you across the hallway to get drug tested, I mean, that can happen today. And you're saying it's just gonna be marijuana? All right. We can have a drug test done. Is there anything you want to say before I send you to go do your drug test? All right, so I'm going to find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. We're going to recall this for tomorrow. She's going to do a drug test today.
You can tell her that.
I'm sorry, not tomorrow. We're going to, is there something she wants to say?
There is, Your Honor.
Oh, what would you wish to say to the court? I'm sorry, what? And what would that be? All right, so why are you playing games with me? Well, no, that means you were dishonest with the court. I asked you, what would you be positive for? You said marijuana, nothing else. I told you I could send you right across the hallway to get drug tested, and you said, please do. You know, send me. I'm not going to be positive for anything else. So now you're telling me it's going to be meth. When's the last time you used meth? All right. And what else? All right. And who are you living with?
Currently, am I going with my grandmother?
And how many children does she have living with her other than you?
No.
So if probation goes out there at that house, you're going to tell me that there are not going to be any minors at that house. So who all is in the house?
So it's just myself and my husband.
I'm sorry, who?
Myself and my husband.
At your grandmother's house.
My grandmother's deceased. She passed away last year in December, but it's her house. We were staying there at her house. It's her property.
So I'm confused. She said she's living with her grandmother.
No, she's living at her
Grandmother's.
grandmother's house.
No, beforehand, she's like, I'm living with my grandmother. So now she's staying at her grandmother's house. And it's just her and her husband at her grandmother's house.
Yeah, I guess I missed the part where she said she was staying with her grandmother. I
Okay.
didn't hear that part. I just heard grandmother's house. But
So it's just you and your husband at your grandmother's house. And there are no children at that location. And how often is he using?
I think it is.
Okay, usually when people use, the people they're with usually use. All right, I'm gonna place you on probation, but I'm telling you right now, probation is gonna make visits at that location. Do you understand? All right. Court is gonna sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years. Taking consideration AL 2181212. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. There's going to be a TAP evaluation. Follow all TAP recommendations. There's to be proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no contact with Walmarts, and that means any Walmart. There's to be no contact with Andrea Macedo, the MRT, CATS 1 and CATS 2. Field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. We can do a referral to felony drug court. You need to make sure you make all of those appointments to felony drug court. There's to be 100 hours of community service restitution.
and 120 sober meetings in 120 days. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you in this court to be successful on probation. Communicate.
I provided a pamphlet from Social Security Administration from 2024 that details a number of programs that a person can do and still collect Social Security disability while working, as well as detailing how you can work and still get Social Security disability. And then the other two documents are bank records from her from 2019 and 2020. And I'm going to be explaining how those are very similar to the bank records she's shown the court now.
All right, okay. Ms. Harvey, now I'm gonna give you another opportunity. This is your time to give me any further information that you would like to, especially if you want to make any statements about those employments. And you can call other witnesses if you have them.
Okay. As far as Holiday Express, I never was on disability when I worked there. When I worked there, I was not on disability. I hadn't got to the, this injury and everything, hadn't had the accident. So I was working there. I was working there every day. As far as like the flower shop and Susie's, I mean, that was just helping them out. I wasn't full time or anything. I just helped them out. And I was excited to make a deferral arrangement. But during that time was also when I was addicted to the Vicodin and Oxys and I was alcohol, and I couldn't feel. And now I feel and I hurt, and I'm not on that kind of medication now anymore. I don't want to ever be on that. I mean, I got to face and deal with what I have to deal with. But I did work at Holiday. That was before the accident. I mean, and I tried to go back there, and I just, Michael, who's the owner there, had me come back just to see, but I couldn't do the computers. So I did try to go back. I'm not like a bum. I always tried to work. But I guess, I'm clean, I'm sober. I mean, I'm doing the best I can. And like I said, I just need to get all these things fixed, and hopefully, get to the point where they get my medication straight, where I won't have seizures, and I'll be fine. But I'm not there.
All right, thank you. Mr. Schmidt, do you have questions?
No.
Okay, all right. Can somebody tell me, I know that something has been paid towards restitution because she had a vehicle that was seized and sold. So what is the remaining amount owed in restitution?
I have that. All right. DOC told me back in March, I don't believe there's been any more payments, that she owes $48,078.67, of which $39,542.35 are restitution. So far, $20,293.15 is the total amount paid towards restitution, aggregating everything.
All right, okay. And I'm going to guess that the amount of restitution, that 20,000 some odd dollars, was kind of split up between both victims.
I think
That
so.
not one was paid off.
Is that
And
correct?
Vicky is confirming that's true. So they're both still owed. All right. Now, Mr. Schmidt, argument and recommendation as to a suggested monthly amount based upon the evidence and information that we have in front of us.
Going even broader than that, given this probation review hearing, I'm going to suggest something probably a little broader than that even. I think that Lori Harvey cannot be trusted to give accurate information about her finances in terms of what she's spending and what she's getting in.
So the victims are assured that it's not like the court was just going, please don't touch it. You promise? Promise. The court did an official order. How it happened and how the funds were spent or allowed to be spent is beyond me.
For the sake of my argument, it's to show the guile and deception and the fact that Lori comes here from a point of lower credibility than normal because of that. And she's here saying she can't work because of medical reasons, and she's provided no proof of those medical reasons. She requires, this is a pseudo restitution hearing. The rules of evidence don't strictly apply, but when you have that credibility issue, you need to bring in those doctor reports talking about workability, because she has worked on disability in the past. She said she's been on disability from this accident for 15 to 20 years. She's now apparently amending that, saying when she was working at Holiday in 2016 that she wasn't collecting disability. Regardless, the report shows that she was working at Walmart in 2019 from May to July at least. Her bank account that I submitted to you shows she was collecting disability as of January of 2019. So she was collecting disability while she was working at Walmart. She's also been volunteering and working other places. So the idea that disability is her sole income is wrong. She could work. That's what the pamphlets help to show. There's many options for her to work and collect disability. And she's worked in the past. I've seen no evidence of recent injuries. It's just all related to this head injury. Furthermore, the documents that she submitted to the court, she tried to show some specific offenses related like electric and phone bill, and she concealed most of her banking records with a sheet for whatever reason. I'll let the court infer. We do see a couple of entries in there though. We see 4 eBay purchases and 1 Temu purchase. Temu is a Chinese online e-commerce website. So we know she spent at least $100 in February, where her sole income is $1,100. So the fact that she's saying she has $30 discretionary income every month is just wrong. She either has more coming in or more is leaving out, and she's misstating her expenses. There's no other way to explain it. And why I submitted her past records is, you remember, Judge, at sentencing, what was the explanation offered for the behavior? Gambling and spending. When we got her bank records, it shows tons of Voodoo purchases, tons of Amazon, tons of Facebook Market, tons of online shopping. That's exactly what we see with the eBay now. What I'm asking the court to do is, I think as a condition of probation, the agent has to be looking at her financials and making sure she's not spending on this stuff. I see tons of minimum payments towards credit cards, which she hasn't told the court anything about credit card debt in these past ones. I don't know if the present she's still doing minimum payments towards credit cards. My concern is that what we know about Lori Harvey is when she gets something, she has to spend it. And I think the evidence is she's not spending it on restitution. There's money she could be spending on restitution that she's spending on herself. She's on her phone, not working at home or a computer, online shopping and buying stuff for herself or her family or her kids. That money needs to be going to restitution. That's part of the sentence. I think the court needs to fashion a modification to probation so that DOC has access to those accounts to make sure she's not spending all of her discretionary income on herself. That income needs to be restitution. I also think that she can work. So for a court to set an order where just the restitution of $39,000 to be paid off by the end of this, it would need to be $1,400 a month. I don't know if she can work that much because we have very little reliable, accurate information from Lori on that in terms of that and what her expenses must actually be. So I think it needs to be a significant number. She just said that her Social Security is $200 higher. So even if you believed her, she's basically admitting it's at least $230. If you think she can work at all, even a minimum wage job, and do it through Social Security, that's another $700 to $1,100 if I'm doing that math right. So if she's actually capable of work, I think she could pay the $1,400. At a bare minimum, I think the court should set something that should be $800 to $1,000. I do think that the court can find that due to the lack of credibility she has. She lied on oath saying she hasn't worked while collecting disability or volunteered while to friends. Okay, so that one. So that's what I'm asking the court to do. She clearly can pay.
Thank you. Agent Gretchen, when is the out date off of her extended supervision? When would she be able to terminate?
At this time, I have one for 2027, Your Honor.
Do you know what month?
Oh, January.
January 2027. All right. All right, Ms. Harvey, you're going to get an opportunity right now to argue to me. You've heard the argument of the state. What would you like me to consider and to hear with regards to this matter?
Ma'am, Judge, what I did in the past is in the past, and I made mistakes. I made huge mistakes, and I'm not, out spending money just to spend money. I'm trying to live. I don't have a car. I have no vehicle. I don't have a license. I have to have Uber and everything else to go anywhere. My mom is 81 years old. I mean, she can't be driving me everywhere. I would love to try to work, but I like I said, if you need medical reports stating why I cannot work, I can go to my doctor and have him print out, what everything and send to you from the disability. And me, I never lied about being on disability and when I worked. I said, I don't remember how long I was on disability. I don't remember the date. I know when I worked at the motel, I was not on disability. And right in front of the motel, I had a car accident where I got a neck injury, where the 3-level fusion. So that caused part of my disability start right there. Besides, before. I mean, I didn't lie. I just don't remember you people, like everybody's got the exact dates. I don't remember them, ma'am, and I'm not lying to you.
All right, thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's difficult because from the get-go, the onset of this case, there was money from your accident, and the court not only ordered you personally, Ms. Harvey, but the court did prepare an official order which was sent to the bank itself. And somehow, for whatever reason, it was worked around and you were able to dwindle and take out all of that $50,000, which could have been used to pay off all of the restitution with some additional funding from your vehicle and the sale of your vehicle. So we wouldn't even be here today, and we wouldn't even have victims that are still here today. We wouldn't have you arguing and trying to beg the court with regards to the money and your financial situation, your health situation, etc. You would just be sitting with extended supervision and working with your agent to continue to try and better yourself. I commend you for the positive things that you have been doing with your life and your sobriety since you have been released from prison. And that is a great thing. That's a great thing for you. That's a great thing for your mom and her husband. It's a great thing for your daughter. It's quite honestly a great thing for the community, because if you are not using, you're not under the influence of a substance or something of that nature, then most likely, hopefully, you're not out there victimizing other individuals by stealing and taking what isn't yours to take. This is a difficult situation because Malins are here and I think you understand, I can't get blood out of a turnip. I can't get money that isn't here. And yes, there are credibility issues with Ms. Harvey, through the roof, up to the top of Old Smoky, credibility issues with Ms. Harvey. But I can't see, without adjusting some of this, that there could be a monthly payment in even $1,000 range. As much as I wish I could do that, I can't see doing that. And quite honestly, I'm going to be blunt with you. I'm not DOC. I don't make the determination on whether or not to revoke. They rarely revoke for failing to pay restitution. They rarely revoke for failing to pay large amounts of costs and fees and all of those things. Okay, so it's not like if she doesn't pay, she's going to be sent right back to prison. That's if she slips up and she does something else using her criminal thinking and she's not sober anymore. So no matter how hard I come down, it doesn't mean she's going to have that punishment of additional incarceration. And this is extended supervision. So I can't go, this is the monthly payment, you make this monthly payment, and if you don't make this monthly payment, I'm sending you to 30 days of jail for each month you've missed. I lose that authority because this is extended supervision. This is not probation. She's already been to prison. She's already served her punishment for this. And now this is the time where she's supposed to rehabilitate and she's supposed to make the victims whole and to move on. If I had more authority, I had more jurisdiction and power over this, things could be slightly different. But all I have is this is what it is, and this is what the punishment can be. I have the ability to do other things, such as seek work, which I will do, but it would have to be at the determination of the agent, because the agent would need to review her medical, because if there is a doctor's note and she can't work because she's indicating she's had surgery, that's up to the agent to seek the work, okay, and to locate employment that won't affect her Social Security disability. I do have the authority to amend and to modify the judgment of conviction and the conditions of probation to include the fact that she must now seek an insurance policy up to $50,000, making the victims as the beneficiaries up to the amount of the restitution still owing at the time of death. And daughter can be secondary beneficiary, because I think that that's appropriate. I don't think $1,000 insurance policy where you pay $20 a month is worth it to anybody but the insurance company, because again, you're just throwing that money down the toilet and it's going to no one, because that $20 should be used for an insurance policy for $50,000. Had a similar case where this was ordered as well, where it's not going to be an enormous amount of money on Ms. Harvey. However, it could be about $100 to $150 a month to insure this 50, but I don't know, I'm not an insurance agent. So that's where the victims are going to have to say, would you rather have me have an additional $100 a month, or a guarantee of, because she would need to provide the court with that insurance policy and to continue to show it's in full force and effect, where if she does pass away, the money will be paid and you will be paid in full. It's a waiting game. But if the court does that, then that may be the only way to ensure that the victims are made whole. In looking at the financial information that's been provided by Ms. Harvey and the information provided by the state, and taking into account that some of it is accurate and true from Ms. Harvey, there's still some wiggle room. Ms. Harvey did state that her Social Security disability has now increased to $1,304 a month, leaving approximately an additional $200 increase from what she originally reported. And if we look at certain things, I understand, Ms. Harvey, that you're telling me that it costs you $400 to $500 a month in groceries, and I'm going to say other incidentals, living incidentals. But as a single person living with a parent and another individual, I can't see that as practical or possible, because again, I do my budget for my family. Some months it's more because things happen. You buy meat, you buy bacon, you buy those things that may increase your grocery expenses. But on average, it should not cost $400 to $500 a month for one person to eat and or to have incidentals. It just should not. And I've said this to more than one person who's claimed an amount of this or even higher. It should not. If it does, you need to budget better. You need to not buy the chips and the fillets and the, pork roasts or those kinds of things. You need to stick to what you can afford to eat. When I went to law school, I ate peanut butter sandwiches. I ate potatoes. I ate, canned vegetables, the things that I could afford to eat. You need to do the same. You are living with your mom and her husband. The lot rent has increased by $50 a month, you indicated, but your mother has lived in that property and she's been able to afford it, and she's been able to live there without your assistance for 20 or 25 years. She doesn't need your assistance. Right now, you need your mama. You need your mama because otherwise you aren't going to be able to survive. Yes, and so parents are now raising their own children and or their grandchildren, but that's where we are here today. That is, it's unfortunate, but it's true. You got yourself into this situation and you need the assistance of your family. And either your mom's going to continue to help you and you won't need to have this money go towards her and helping her at this time, or she'll say, you got to move somewhere else and then we'll be in a different spot. But so I am seeing that at least with those things that I have noted and perhaps a few other budgetary items that you can hone in a little bit more. And in looking, you have a storage fee of $60 a month in Wisconsin. I don't know what that's for. Maybe you figure it out. Maybe you sell all the things. Maybe you just take the things that are extremely important to you. Maybe those are things that you can find a friend and you can store in their shed and you can cover with tarps. Maybe those are things that you allow your friends to use in their homes until you're able to bring them back to you. So that's an additional $60 a month that I don't think is feasible or practical, at least at this time. And your mom is 81 years old. I'm going to presume that you're going to inherit from her at some time in the future. And hopefully if you inherit something that, and your life insurance hasn't kicked in, the one that you're going to be ordered and conditioned to look for and to provide proof to the court, that you would use any inheritance to pay off the remaining amount of restitution. I said this multiple times to multiple people. The restitution here is important. I don't really care about the court costs and fees or the DOC costs. Don't care. It's about well, I care to a point. It's the victims that need to be made whole, because the victims are truly innocent people who did not ask to have their things stolen, their money taken. So in looking at all that I'm able to calculate, and the fact that I will take you at what word I can of you, Ms. Harvey, right now, that you're not able to work due to the surgery. However, at some point you may be able to work after you've healed and you've had an additional surgery, etc. But at this point in time, I will take you at your word with that, especially with the fact that the court is cutting apart your budget. I am seeing with what I can calculate and with some cutting and saving and penny pinching, that at least in review of your financial situation, you can pay realistically and reasonably every single month, $700 a month. As much as I would like to pay it all off, as much as I would like to do $1,000 or $1,400 a month as the state recommended, I can't see that I can make it work. So beginning July, $700 a month will be paid as restitution. The court will continue to have probation review hearings to ensure that the payments are being done, and if not, and to make sure that the insurance policy has been secured, and that the beneficiaries are the victims up to the amount that will be remaining owed at the time of death, with the secondary beneficiary of your daughter or whomever you choose to have, and to alter or adjust or to modify other conditions such as seek work and additional proof of medical and or other means to achieve payment of the restitution. So what I'm going to do right now is set another hearing to ensure that all of that has been accomplished and taken care of. I'm going to schedule August 12th at 10:15. August 12th at 10:15. We will have a probation review hearing. I will get updated on the insurance information and or medical information and the ability to even work. Right now, it's not a seek work. It's a potential to seek work. And right now, it would be, if you want to add that as a modification, it would be seek work with agents' discretion based upon medical. So she would need to provide her medical information, medical notes, etc., doctor's excuses to her agent to make that determination. And I understand your financial situation, Ms. Harvey. I do take that into account. And I do need to look at those types of things to determine a restitution amount that would be owed. But when we're looking at restitution, I do have to look at the payment of restitution, but the court doesn't have to look at whether or not you would essentially be suffering, because that's a part of the conviction. It's not to ensure that you can have a good life and you can have the filet and the Coca-Cola or those types of things. It's to ensure that you are making every effort that you can to be able to pay off this restitution. It's not to punish you, but it is to ensure that there is a plan to make the victims whole. All right. With that, Mr. Schmidt.
I would just ask that also, as the court makes a finding of law as to what it's predicating its order on, it also base it on section 9M, the self-executing portion of that for assistance collecting restitution. I think this order is also based on that, and that's what the victims originally filed as well.
I'm sorry, I missed what you had said. What?
To also base the legality order on section 9M, the Marcy's law provision,
Oh,
that's self-executing about assistance collecting restitution.
Yes, exactly. The court will adopt that as stated by Mr. Schmidt and through Marcy's law. All right, anything further?
Not from me.
All right. Then we are adjourned.